From Gohan being a child to Broly helping out with the quests in Dragon Ball Daima, all the way to Toa making her canon appearance, I want to hear from you guys. What do you want specifically from Dragon Ball Daima? What do you want from the TV series? What should it have 110%? Let me know in the comment section below as I give you my top 10 things I want from Dragon Ball Daima. But I want to start off with the number one thing that I really don't want from the series, and that is the dumbing down of Goku and surrounding characters. I want Goku to stop being dumb, stop forgetting that he can meditate, stop forgetting all his past relationships with people, and just be a good fighter, be in the moment, but not be stupid, because he has been dumbed down to a severe degree by Dragon Ball Super, and I would like, even though he's a kid, I want him to stay as rational a kid could be. At least Dragon Ball GT levels, if not Dragon Ball levels. And this goes for all the characters, even Vegeta, who is a child. I'm hoping that he does not get stupid or too goofy, and there's a good balance with it. But with that said, that out of the way, let's go ahead and get onto this list. Number 10, I say good animation. And the reason I have this at number 10 and not higher, I know a lot of people want really good animation, and I know I often harp on the inconsistency of animation in Dragon Ball Super, but the reason I have it at number 10 is because, I mean, unless they showed us the best parts of the animation that they have for the teaser looks really, really good. They've been working on this for a while. They're shooting an entire season outright, not every single week, not a weekly anime, but just outright. And they have a lot of really good direction and staff that has worked on really good animation projects in the past. Plus, they've already said that they're trying to go for an animation quality that is consistent with, say, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, or My Hero. All those series have had really awesome trending animation scenes that I think that Dragon Ball Daima wants to copy. They want to have their own trending anime scene that really solidifies Dragon Ball Daima as a good anime. So I'm personally not really that worried that this is not going to have stellar animation from everything that we've heard, because that's like the main thing. Literally, if you think about it, that's like the main thing they've been harping on. Like, this is not going to be episode 5 of Dragon Ball Super. This is going to be good animation. I'm 100% here for it. I can't wait to see what it looks like. So I'm not really that concerned with the animation quality and it being subpar in a sense. Next is Janemba. This would be the perfect time to bring back Janemba. Now, granted, Janemba was born in hell, and he's not a demon, but Janemba really looks like a demon, and that's kind of the reason that I have it on 9, because I think that someone like Janemba, or a character that is resemblance of Janemba or feels like Janemba in a certain way, or has the abilities that are similar to Janemba, would add so much tension to a series that has the main bad guy looking like the opposite version of the Omni King. So we need something that's going to be hammering us home that there is an actual threat, and I feel like this would be like the perfect time to bring back Janemba, put him in the series, since we're dealing with demons, and Janemba really looks like a demon. I mean, look at him, like, he just looks like that. He gives off that aura, and they're bringing back so many things from the past. This would be the perfect opportunity to bring a fan favorite character into the fold and give him some agency in a series that is probably gonna lack a lot of serious villains and kind of side more with the goofy run-of-the-mill villains, unless we are missing something that they're hiding. But that's kind of why I have it on number 9, because I'm not like the most serious about this change. Janemba's not really high up on my list of things that Dragon Ball Daima needs to have, but it would be really nice for it to have. And Shadow Dragons are in the same boat. And the reason I have them on this list, or a version of the Shadow Dragons, is because we did get a clip in this teaser that looked like it had the creation of the Super Dragon Balls by some unknown Namekian, because it looks like the Dragon Balls are being created by a son of some kind. So yeah, we have that aspect of the show. We have the aspect where they get wished, apparently, supposedly, into children, unless it's magic of some kind, but I'm thinking they're gonna go the wish route because it is Dragon Ball. So they're going to go that route. They're going to wish for them to be kids. It just feels like a great connection, since it is kind of taking a lot from GT as well, to bring in some sort of shadow dragon or some sort of malevolent being that comes from the Dragon Balls or the Super Dragon Balls that is just fed up with the Dragon Balls being abused. I feel like they can come up with a really unique villain, and this is kind of my direction for that villain. I mean, I already talked about Janemba, but the Shadow Dragons would be great to add into this show because they are a malevolent presence. They have a lot in there that is really intimidating, especially the last three dragons, Ice, Fire, and Omega. The rest of them kind of, but there are some goofy ones in there or some silly ones that could fit in with the theme or the feeling of the show, which is really kind of a goofy space adventure for the most part from what we've been seeing. So I think that the Shadow Dragons, in my opinion, I would add them in before Janemba. But at the same time, I understand that it's kind of far-fetched to try to find some way to write the Dragon Balls cracking or a malevolent being coming from the misuse of the Dragon Balls in a show where Goku's trying to turn big again. So I get it. That's kind of why I have it high up on the list, because I don't think it's gonna happen, and it's not that important to me, to be honest with you, but I do want to see it. Super Saiyan 4 transformation. I know this is going to be number 1 on everybody's list, and I have it really low up on the list because to me, I think that in this show, from what I'm seeing, the feeling that I'm getting, and the fact that we haven't seen any transformations whatsoever, the feeling is that they're going to pull away from transformations for a little bit, and probably not the theme of this show. The show seems to be more a spirit piece for Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball GT when Goku was doing the Grand Tour. It kind of feels like that, where Goku rarely really went into Super Saiyan, past Super Saiyan, really. So it doesn't feel like we're going to be getting a brand new Saiyan transformation, although I would absolutely love it. The problem is that Goku and Vegeta already have a lot of Saiyan transformations. So I don't think that they should be getting, say, something like Super Saiyan Primal, which would be basically Super Saiyan 4, like something along those lines. I don't think that would be adequate for them. I think that somebody like Broly, which I'm going to get to, I think someone like Broly would fit more with a controlled version of that transformation. Let him regrow back his tail, all that stuff. I think that would be really cool. But again, it is kind of a stretch. That's kind of why I do have it low on the list, because it is stretching the fabric of what this show is particularly meant to be. Beerus and Whis need to be benched 110%. We've had Dragon Ball Super have Beerus and Whis in the show, helping out, saving the day, adding assistance, taking away tension too many times at this point. I understand specifically those two. They're some of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball at first, back in, you know, when we first watched Battle of Gods, and even the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. But then it became quickly apparent that it was hard for them to write any sort of sense of tension besides the arbitrary rules. You can't help here, you can't help there, which Beerus and Whis break all the time by doing a bunch of different things, by walking that fine line on really helping, but they are helping, you know, by, you know, training and all that stuff. Like, I think that they need to kind of get benched, and I don't think that they're going to be transformed into children. I don't think, at least not Whis. Beerus, I don't know. Because I don't know how strong this magic or this wish would be, depending what it is. If it's a wish, they can't be transformed to children. They're not, the dragon's not powerful enough for that. I don't even think unless they wish on the Super Dragon Balls, which that might be up in the air. But Beerus transforming into a kid may bring in other gods to kind of be like, what's going on? Like, one of our gods got attacked, essentially, and Beerus, even as a kid, could be formidable. So I think that maybe pulling them away, in a sense, without turning them into children, but like having them do some sort of duty, or maybe Beerus go to a conference or something with other gods, or whatever the case is. I don't know, be trapped some way, or maybe decide to go to sleep. Something like that, and Whis being off doing whatever. I think that they just need to not be in Dragon Ball Daima whatsoever. I love those characters. I know a lot of you guys love those characters, but those two do not need to be in Dragon Ball Daima whatsoever. Gohan needs to transform into a kid. We did not see that in the teaser. He was like literally one of the few, if not the only one of the original Z Squad. I mean, even Piccolo got transformed into a kid. Like, he's one of the few that did not get transformed, or at least did not see him get transformed into a kid. And the reason that I'm saying this is because Gohan is literally the most powerful being in the universe right now. He has Beast Gohan, and if he can go into that freely, even if he can't, just him tapping into that should grant him some sort of strength enough to go on this quest to save everybody, because it's not even just Goku being a kid at this point, it's literally everybody he loves. So it would be weird for him not to go on this quest if he was an adult, because he can handle it. He is an adult. So I think it'd be cool for him to be going as an adult and then maybe not being able to go into Beast that easily, but then eventually going into Beast, we see Beast again. That would be interesting. I feel like they're not gonna put him in this adventure. He's not gonna go in there. So if he's not gonna go in there, him just being like, well, I mean, I wasn't there to be transformed as a kid, but I'm just gonna stay home and take care of my child wife and my baby daughter, or him taking care of everybody like a daycare. I think that would just be really, really lame, because he is the most powerful character, and so it would just not make sense for him not to go. So in my opinion, I think he does need to transform into a child to make it believable that he would not go. That's if he doesn't go. If he does go, I would be fine with him being an adult, to be honest with you. But if he doesn't, he needs to be a kid as well, or else it's lazy and bad writing for Gohan 110%. Next is Broly. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why would I want Broly in the TV show, but I don't want Gohan? Or at least I want more excuses for Gohan not to be there, but Broly, who is ridiculously strong, for him to be in the show, wouldn't that make things unbalanced? The answer is I want Broly under conditions. Now, Broly makes sense. He is out there on planet Vampa in the universe, so having them make a pit stop with Broly to talk to him or try to get his help with like a certain mission or something, that would be really interesting. But the one thing that really makes me like want Broly more is because he wasn't superhero and they were trying to work on him figuring out how to control his rage. If Daima takes place somewhat in the future past that point, then it could be argued that Broly like can control his rage at a certain level and maybe kind of like fight in his base form without going into Ikari, meaning that we could actually get Broly helping out in said a specific mission just by being in base form. And I think that would help him and Goku and Vegeta kind of get closer together, because you know, they've been in the last 2 movies together, so this would just be another type of quest. At the same time, I think it'd be really interesting to see what Broly thinks or Chi Light thinks of a kid Goku and Vegeta. I think that would be an interesting interaction. I've talked about this already, but I'm gonna just dive deeper, a little bit deeper into it. The Demon Realm, we're already gonna see a Demon Realm and just like how the fabric of that works and some secrets on it and all that stuff, because there is a demon, an actual demon, who's coming to try to mess with the Z Squad basically. So we should be getting some connections to the Demon World, and I wouldn't be surprised at the beginning, the first episode of Dragon Ball Daima takes place from that demon's point of view, similar to how Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods kind of started with Beerus's or his dream and then the Oracle Fish and stuff like that. I could see that being the case for this demon that comes and be like attacks Goku and the squad, and then as he's coming up with his plan, it cuts to Goku and Vegeta sparring, as we saw in the teaser, and then they transform into children. Vegeta probably tries to attack one of them, and that's why he's bleeding in there, you know, because he's always the one that takes the ass whooping. So that's kind of what I'm sensing. So I think that we're going to get like a lot of Demon World, but these are the things that I really want to see. Number one, I need to see the Demon King. We lost the Demon King. We lost Dabura. Dabura should be dead in Otherworld. And if he's back, I want to know why he's back. Trust me, I would love to see him back. Dabura's one of my favorite characters. He's got great aesthetic. He's got great potential. Even though he's not that strong, he was a cool character. But I need to know why he's back and how strong he is. But if he's not back, we need to see what the Demon King is, or who the Demon King is. Is this guy the Demon King? Because the Demon King is an actual title, and if the Demon King, the past one, died in Dragon Ball Z, which would make sense why the demons are now involved, because their Demon King died, then they need to make a new one, or they need to bring a new one in, and then that could be a whole situation as to why the demons are attacking Earth and the Saiyans. So I want to see the Demon King, the new Demon King, or at least it being mentioned. But I really, and this is a selfish reason, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I want to add this in there and throw this in there. We need another baddie, man. We need Toa, like the version of Toa for Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Daima. We need that version, because I don't think that they're gonna bring Toa and Mira from every other game that they're in and every other universe that they're in and bring them into this one. I don't think they're gonna do that. They'll be really confusing. So I do think that it'd be really cool to have like a baddie version of Toa for Dragon Ball Daima specifically, that could be sort of like the Queen of Hell or the Queen of the Demon World or whatever. That would be really cool, but that's a selfish want that I would like. Magic needs to be amplified 110%. We spend the last close to a decade now. Only, all these power levels and key, I mean, even, I'm just talking about Dragon Ball Super, but even Dragon Ball Z, key fighting power levels, abilities, techniques, all these different things. And we've had magic here, a little bit there. And Moro was a great example, a great way to show how magic is balanced against fighters that are like, Goku and Vegeta. And so with this show having fighters of that caliber in the show, it would be really cool to see magic that, say, just like Babidi, his body is relatively weak, but his magic is extremely strong, similar to Moro before he started, becoming more powerful. That's kind of what I want to see. I want to see magic that is as powerful as Goku and Vegeta and is as problematic as some of the magic that we've seen in the show so far. There should be a huge emphasis on this, especially since the show was called Dragon Ball Magic, supposedly, up until right before it was announced that it was Dragon Ball Daima. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Dragon Ball Daima, the name was changed a few days before the convention. And so before that, it's not confirmed, but it could only be assumed that it was called either Dragon Ball Magic or the Japanese equivalent for the name Magic. So if it was called Dragon Ball Magic, then more than likely we're going to get a lot of magic in this show. And lastly, End of Z. This is something that I've been harping on since before I made YouTube. We need to get to the End of Z. I've made several videos at this point talking about End of Z, so I'm not going to bore you guys with it. It just needs to happen. The ending of this specific season, of this specific Dragon Ball Daima season, if it doesn't leave on a cliffhanger, we're gonna get more Dragon Ball Daima, and if it's good enough, I would want more. But whenever Dragon Ball Daima is done, whether that be 1 season or 10 seasons, hopefully not that long, it should literally just roll right into Dragon Ball Super again, or whatever name the show is gonna be, and then it should start with the tournament from the End of Z, meeting Oob and all that. That should be where that first episode is. I don't want anything else from Dragon Ball Super. I don't want any more at all from the anime that is between this timeline. I need it to go beyond it. I need to go past it. We are done. All of us are collectively done. We are walking ourselves out of here. We're opening the door and grabbing our keys and getting into the car and driving to the End of Z because we're done with it. Now, this is tricky because, the manga is still stretching that superhero arc, which they're going to keep doing. It doesn't look like it's going to be close to done anytime soon, so that's going to be stretched to unimaginable lengths here, but it's not going to be able to catch up with how fast the anime and Daima's going and whatever, so we may be getting like some remnants of the End of Z, or at least some more adventures in the manga, which is fine. I don't mind unknown adventures before the End of Z in the manga, but as far as the anime is concerned, no. Anime absolutely fucking needs to be past the End of Z 110%. That's just my take on it. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that it should be the End of Z, or do you guys want to see more before Z stuff? Let me know in the comments below, and just remember, this is still a anime in progress. We don't know everything about it yet. We don't really know like probably 10% of it yet. So I know a lot of you guys have reservations for it. Just wait a little bit. See what else they decide to tease and what other leaks come out and what else we get from this show, because it could be, and I think it will be, because it could be, and I think it will be a complete banger. But this is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.